Hello everyone, Jilles Groskamp here from Team Infinity, and today in this video I want to talk about the clutch maintenance, and I want to show you what I change on the clutch during in the season or per race, which parts I change to new ones, which ones I only clean. So come and have a look. So now I'm gonna open the clutch, gonna take a 2.5, gonna take it apart and put it aside first. All the shims for the gap, put them aside. Yeah, the first thing you always check is the spring tension. So if you just came from the track and you think, this is a nice setting, you just you use the spring checker, how much distance. This is 0.3, so then you know I have to put it back on 0.3. And now I'm gonna open the spring, and basically what you check is the clutch shoe and very important, the clutch weights. So if I'm gonna start to rebuild now, the thing is you don't have to take off the flywheel, because yeah, you can check if it's still tight, but you clean it with some brake cleaner here, and you can check the pin if it's still fine. So now usually after a few months of racing, depends on how much you race of course, but the whole of the clutch weight, it's not completely around anymore, but it's yeah, to get some play on it. So then you really have to change the weights, because if the weight has too much play, yeah, you just have less torque. So normally this can also be changed just before a race, because this will not change the clutch feeling. It just is more direct, and you have more power if you have fresh ones. So keep in mind that this should have minimum play. So that can put back on. That's it. So check if this is clean, and you can clean it also with the motor cleaner. And always check if this is free, also not too much play. So now comes the important thing, it's the clutch shoe. You can see this has a nice brown edge, and I don't replace this often, because I feel like if this is nicely broken in, you can use for quite some time. It's also dangerous in the race itself to change the clutch shoe, because the clutch will always change. So it's better to put a new one in. For example, if you break in a new engine or something like that, so you actually have to break in the shoe. And this one is still very nice, so I just put it back in. Yeah, then the clutch bell is also, you have to check. Like normally the clutch bell will kind of match with the clutch shoe, so don't put another clutch bell on with a used clutch shoe, because maybe it's not completely matched. Better put a new shoe then, or a new bell. The bearings, yeah, this is something you have to change sometimes. There's the big bearing on the lower side, and two small ones on the upper side, especially the smaller ones. And these sometimes yeah, they run not as good anymore, so you have to change them. Yeah, the clutch spring is usually fine for a long time. If it's not all the way flat, it still works as a spring, so that's fine. So I will put back the spring, and I will tighten it till I have the same spring tension again as before. It's almost the same. Usually if I put back the shims for the gap, yeah, it should remain the same. You can always check again, but yeah, normally it's the same engine. Everything stays the same, so all the shims should be the same gap. So also the bell you can clean inside. Again, the bearings, don't put grease on the bearing because it have oil on it, and then it gonna slip on the shoe. Of course, also the pinions, always check the pinions. If they are a little bit sharp, just change them. Now the thrust bearing, yeah, usually they're quite strong, they last quite long. Of course, you can clean them with some motor cleaner, and when they're cleaned, I normally use the SMJ Ultra Joint Grease. Put some grease in, and they will last even longer. So I put back the thrust bearing now. Check the play, still have a little play. Everything runs fine. So clutch is ready to go. So this was my video about the clutch maintenance. I hope this was helpful for you, and see you next time. Bye bye.